Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy HypeDoWn, and today what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over my Death Knight glyphs. Now, these glyphs, guys, are the glyphs, sorry, these glyphs are the glyphs you want to be using pretty much on any given situation. These are pretty much the staples of what I use. Just to make this video as short and sweet as possible, let's get right into this, guys. So, no matter what, I'm always going to have Glyph of Regenerative Magic and Glyph of Icy Touch. Let me explain why. First off, this reduces our cooldown of Antimagic Shell. It brings it down to 25 seconds. The reason why you want that is because Antimagic Shell does a lot of good things for us. It negates magic damage done. It helps us regenerate runic power. It stops us from being CC'd by silences, fears, roots, void tendrils. There's a couple probably other ones like hex, but poly, you can absorb all of that when AMS is popped. So there's a lot of defensive and offensive aspects about AMS. Anti-magic shell, on a defensive aspect, you pop it and negates a lot of magic damage being done, and then on top of that you regen runic power. And with that runic power, guys, you can choose to go offensive or defensive. Defensive, you can Lynchborn Hill with it. Offensive, you can truck death coils or frost strike. And if the enemy team is continuously hitting you, you can truck death coil, death coil, death coil, death coil, death coil, because once you're empty, you're going to get another 30 and another 30 and another 30, and you can just keep trucking death coils at them. Or frost strikes. Defensive, Lynchborn Hill, Lynchborn Hill, Lynchborn Hill. He's still hitting you, Lynchborn Hill, and you'll just keep healing. So that's why this is a great thing to have, because Anti-Magic Shell is just such an important cooldown. Moving along, Icy Touch. Now with Icy Touch, I love it because there's times where I have to kite, and if I have to kite, I'm going to use Icy Touch. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it does add a stack of necrotics to the enemy. Necrotic Plague, I should say. It adds a stack of Necrotic Plague per Icy Touch. Not only does it do that, it also debuffs the target. You're probably wondering what's so important about debuffing the target. Well, you can debuff their buffs, meaning like Might, Mark of the Wild, Spell Power, the Warlock's spell thing, Kings, etc. You guys know the buffs. I don't know too many of all the names of all the buffs that you can debuff, but you can debuff those buffs. You can even debuff useful things like heals and stuff. Like if a retro druid is tossing hots on his team and you end up making him run away, you can take off the hots. He's going to keep running, and he may think that his teammates are fully hotted and they're not, and then he has to come back in harm's way to put those hots back on him and get himself in trouble. So this is a great ability to have, just to be able to debuff the target. Another main thing that I debuff are handed protections, like the bops. Like, this is great, especially if you've been doing good at purging the target. Purging meaning dispelling the target. Once the paladin puts on like a handed protection, Icy Touch, and it's right off. No time wasted, and he'll die. Now, some paladins forget that you can still kick them when they put hand protection on, because our kick is a magic spell, not a physical attack. So even if he has a bop on, sometimes I wait to take it off because they stand still and cast in front of me, and they forget that my kick is a magic spell. So I kick them, then I take it off. So yeah, that's why I kind of never really get rid of this one. I never change this one, never. Now sometimes I may get rid of this one if I'm going up against like a hunter and a warrior, because they're not really doing too much magic damage to me. So I can like put on let's see, this one to heal myself, which I pretty much never do. This is dual hero glyph. I'll get back to that one in a second. But my second main glyph that I like to use, guys, is Dark Sim. But normally what I do is I take this out for Dark Sim. But I use Dark Sim, guys, for teams like with mages, retro druids, warlocks, because those teams have things to spam, or like enhanced shaman, retro shaman. So like I can steal a hex, fear, clone, poly. So sometimes when you throw this on a player when they're trying to CC you, they will cancel the they'll try to juke you because they don't want you to have that CC, and that saves your team from getting hit with a CC. So it kind of works like a kick sometimes when like an actually good player is paying attention. If not, if the mage goes through with the poly, I steal the polymorph, poly the healer, fix the healer, then my teammate has enough time to get in position to CC him once more. So that's why this is great, because it makes your 1 minute Dark Simulacrum a 30-second Simulacrum, and it makes the other team very scared to cast their CCs wildly. So I don't know, this is one that I play around with from time to time, but overall guys, these are the 3 that I keep. Regenerative Magic, it got hit a little bit with a nerf, but any runic power is better than none at all. If I'm constantly being CC'd, I'll like throw like Icy Touches or Death Siphons, and getting that little bit of runic power, you know, 2 per second for 5 seconds is helpful, is really helpful. So I use this from time to time. You know, it helps me get more death coils out. More death coils equals more blood taps, which can potentially be a heal or my blood tap Soul Reaper or whatever I need it for. So that's why I use Regenerative Magic. It's just something to give me more runic power support. Moving on to the minor glyphs, the main one you want to make sure you have is Death's Embrace. So when you're healing your pet, you just get refunded back your runes for your runic power for that. You get 20 back. So there's some times where guys, I can't hit a target, but I'm trying to set up big damage. So I'll heal my pet for no reason, and I'll get refunded back a death coil. So I can literally spam like 4 death coils into my goal if I have 100 runic power and still have runic power left to go onto the target. And by the time I get to the target, I'll have runes to just refill it back up. Anyway, because people are saying, oh, why would you waste your runic power? Well, if you have 100 runic power, every time you use a rune, you're going to be overflowing with 10. So if you gotta waste 10 runic power, so what? Because we only have a pool of 100. It'll be nice if we had a pool of 130 like we did before, so we can dump you know, an extra death coil. It would be even cool if we had 230 runic power, so we can go death coil crazy. But I think then people will complain a lot about us. But getting back on track, guys, this is pretty much it. You're looking at everything I have. Let's go over it one more time. Just Regenerative Magic, Glyph of Icy Touch, Runic Power, and Death's Embrace. Now with these two, Glyph of Path of Frost, I use this because there's times where I get blown off a cliff, and at an instinct I'll pop Path of Frost, and sometimes this actually saves my life. People probably never, I would never jump off a cliff, but there's sometimes when you get blown off a cliff, and this actually comes in handy, mainly for RBGs or battlegrounds. You get blown off somewhere, you can use this. If you guys are engineers, if you're getting blown off a cliff in a regular BG, you can use your glider, you know, like this thing right here. You can use your glider. But for the people who don't have that, Path of Frost will come in handy. And this comes in handy because if your grip, you know, fails or whatever, it won't go on cooldown. I'm pretty sure we don't have a problem with that, but just for security, it's good to have. But alright guys, thanks for watching. Hope you guys found something useful in this video. I'm not going to really go over all of the glyphs, because these are the ones that you want to be using. Just to give you an insight on a couple of ones that you may see other people using. Absorb Magic. I wouldn't use this, guys. I didn't even buy it because yes, you absorb all of the magic damage, but what you're also forgetting is that you're not going to be able to receive runic power. And not only that, if you have this glyph, you can't use Regenerative Magic, which is shortening your cooldown. Don't forget, guys, your healer has a job to do, so negating some type of damage is better than negating anything at all. So I'd rather have a short cooldown and absorb magic damage and receive runic power, so if my healer still can't do his job after this goes down, I can heal myself. If I have this one, I'm absorbing excuse me, all of the damage, but if my healer is still getting polyed and then cloned and then whatever, or sapped or whatever, let's just be ridiculous. If he just gets CC'd out of his ass, like, I need a heal, and if I'm not getting runic power from that AMS, I'm in trouble. So that's why I would never ever use that one. Most of these other ones are just pretty much wastes. I can also probably see myself using this glyph. I mean, for duels, this will come in so much handy because like it gives you an extra heal. When you pop rune weapon, you just get that big burst of heal. And not only do you get a big burst of heal off rune weapon, and you'll have a fresh 6 runes. And if you have all 4 death runes, you can spam 4 death siphons. If you don't have all 4 death runes, you can spam an instant 2 death strikes and possibly start chucking death codes into the target or lynchborn killing yourself, and then blood tap into some more death siphons or death strikes, whatever you choose to use. So this glyph right here is a huge save your life glyph. But in duels, I rarely even use glyph of Imperial Rune Weapon. I barely use that in duels to begin with, but if I'm going up against like a dual hero rat paladin that has those big heals, or like a boomkin with that heal spec, I may go it, but that's only if they really want a dual hero fight. But I never switch up the specs to beat anybody. I rock with what I have. But guys, these are the glyphs that you want to be using, and these are why I use what I use. I hope you found something useful in this footage, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. Like, subscribe, refer me to some friends, and please continue to support me and be a fantastic audience, guys. This is your boy HypeDoWn, and I will see you next time. Peace.